Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's been ages since I've done a bit of a repot and chat video, but I have several things that I need to work on today, and I thought it'd be more fun to do it with y'all. So we're just gonna repot, chat about things, hang out, and I can show you what I am getting up to. Before we get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate it. Oh, let's get into this repot session. And yes, I'm doing it on the floor. I feel more comfortable doing repots on the floor these days. Even if the plants aren't that big, it just feels nicer to me. So we're gonna be working in this area here. Roll this bad boy out. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna be doing this as a bit of a headless repot, which is totally fine. Y'all don't need to see my face. But the first thing that I wanted to do is I need to sort out my Alocasia stingray. You can see it's kind of gotten too big for the pot that I've got it in. It's just flopping over and it needs a little bit of attention. And I was in the charity shop the other day and I found this glass cube, and I feel like this would be actually perfect for it. For no drainage, because I like myself a bit of no drainage. So that is what we're going to get up to first. I feel like this is the only one I'm putting in a semi-hydro, so it's better to do it first, because I always do semi-hydro stuff after I've done soil, and then it's all messy and like I feel like I can't keep it as clean as I need to. So we can start here, and I feel like that would make more sense. I've got my box of semi-hydro. I just recently went through and washed a whole bunch of it. Ooh, I should probably, it's a bit like dusty, dirty in there. Let me give it a quick rinse. 1 second. Clean and rinsed. I mean, it's not like anything crazy. I just wanted to make sure that there's like no dust in the bottom of it. And I can just go in with this. Oh, I've actually got a really good idea. One more thing. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting myself. So I did something like this the other day in my Patreon video. Oh, this is freaking perfect. Oh my goodness. So one of the main struggles I have with no drainage is that I struggle to see like the water line sometimes on the pot I have. I find having indicators so much easier. And so I've actually got a few of these indicators from old self-watering pots that I just like didn't like. And I kept the indicators because I figured they might be useful. And they are, because I can pop this into the corner of the glass pot, and this one's actually the perfect height for this, so I can have that and I'll be able to see the level of the water when I fill it up. So I get like kind of the best of both worlds, because I do quite like no drainage these days. I found my Alocasias especially really enjoy it. And I'm not going to put too much in to start, because I have a feeling this needs a nice deep potting. Ooh, got some janky looking roots on this one that need removed. I have kind of like always struggled with this stingray. I've never been able to get it to grow particularly well. Give it a full new set of semi-hydro if I can get this out. I've never been able to get it to grow particularly well. Come on. Oh my god, this was so overdue. Do you see these roots? Look at those. Okay. Hella roots on there. Yes, this was so needed. I'm actually gonna remove this bottom leaf as well, just because it looks like it could benefit from that. And it's only finally just getting like quite nice stingery leaves. The only issue is it is quite leggy. I know I don't have it under like the brightest of conditions, and so that's part of why it's not like insanely good, but I think it's getting better. I'm in a better place with it now than I used to be, because before I could not for the life of me get my stingery to grow. Like it just kept putting out like really crappy leaves. And so the fact that it's doing anything is better than nothing. And I probably could have pot in a second alocasia in here and like done a mixed pot. If I had a Zebrina at the minute, I could have done that. I probably would have done that, but I haven't. I haven't got one of them this second, just because it's just not been it's not been good with me in alocasia Zebrinas. I've really struggled with them, so it's fine. It doesn't really matter. This is perfect. Like that. And then when I put the water in, you'll be able to see the level with the indicator. So I can get it twice. I can see the line on here and have the indicator to show me what I'm doing. Also, I did lose like quite a spectacular root in that process, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's okay. A little bit of root pruning sometimes hurts, but hopefully not with this one. You can stay a little bit more upright now, right? I mean, I could fill it up higher with the semi-hydro, just to give it like that little bit more support. Yeah, that'll do for now. And I think once the roots kind of grow and spread out, it will gain more support from like just having more space to like hold on to. Does that make sense? Because when it was in this, it's actually quite small of a pot, and so it didn't have that much it could do to support itself, whereas now it's got like loads of space, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, semi-hydro done. I don't need to deal with that anymore, which is awesome. Now I can get as messy as I want. You can see my potting mat's already quite messy. I need to like properly give it a scrub sometime. But next up, I think I'm going to pot up these Sapo Blue cuttings because they've just been in perlite rooting and they're hella rooted in there. And I'm just going to put them into my hanging pot. I know that when I got these cuttings, I was like really excited that they had fenestrations in them, and they probably won't fenestrate if they're hanging. So it like kind of defeats the purpose of having a fenestrated one. But I don't mind. This is what I have in me right now with these ones. So this is what's gonna happen. I wonder if this needs a repot. It actually doesn't look like it at the minute. It's not got like hella roots coming out the bottom or anything. I guess we'll see when we kind of unpack it a little bit. It does have like super long tendrils though, which in theory I probably should cut down, but I've just kind of wound them around the top. Oh wow, this is long. And it's got like a massive runner. Ooh, should I chop that and prop it? Yeah, I probably should. Okay, making good decisions. Can chop that, and then I can prop all of these leaves along here. I wonder if any of the other ones have runnery bits, because I feel like that's my favorite place to chop, because I feel like I'm not losing out as much on them. That one's got a bit of one, but that's fine. This one's got some. I think it's probably where I like dehydrated the plant a little bit too much, which does happen, not super regularly, but like enough for me, unfortunately, because I I just am an underwaterer in general, but okay, that's fine. We can didn't mean to do that. We can unpot it when we put these in, just to see what's what. It's like fully stuck itself to the sides of the cup. Fabulous. Okay, unpot and repot, and we can just like keep reusing this soil because this soil is plenty fine. Oh, maybe I don't need to unpot all the way. Oh, but it'd probably be better if I could. Ooh, do I want to size up? Maybe I should. Did I get any pots big enough to size up? Is that a size up? No. No, I didn't grab any pots big enough to size up. Okay, let me grab one that's a wee bit bigger. And we'll have to not use this anymore, this cash pot. I think it'll just benefit from slightly more space. Yeah, let's do that. So, I don't actually have very many. I feel like this is the point in pot sizes where they just like suddenly get like exponentially bigger. Like, I feel like, I mean, the difference in that is marginal, but the difference in those, I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot. It's actually not that much. It's probably actually the perfect size. Okay, I'm going to shut up now because I'm just making stuff up. I was going to say that like this is the point where the pots just like get a whole lot bigger really quickly, but that's not actually the case. This one is the perfect size for what I'm trying to do. Okay, use that. And then, of course, I'm going to be using Monstera and Philodendron. I know this is neither a Monstera nor a Philodendron, but that is what I use for all of my epibremnums as well, and it should be the perfect blend for it. I just pop you all in like that. I also do have an affiliate with Soil Ninja, so if you're a new customer and you want to try Soil Ninja out, I feel like almost everyone's using this stuff at this point, so not very many new customers these days, but if you're a new customer and you want to try out their soils, which I highly, highly recommend, I do have a discount code. I think it's actually a link. I'll put it in the description. It's always in the description. So if you ever want to try Soil Ninja out and you're in the UK or the EU, sorry US people, unfortunately they don't have US stuff yet. I don't know if they ever will. I feel like that would be really cool if they did branch out into the US, but I feel like that's a massive undertaking to get out that far, so I don't know if they will or not. I feel like they're busy enough in the UK and the EU these days, so I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you. But like I said, if anyone wants to try it out and you're around, it's there if you want it. Obviously this isn't sponsored by them, but I do love their stuff and I have worked with them quite a lot over the years because they make some really amazing soil. That was easy enough. Potted in, especially this one with the fenestration. But unfortunately, it's probably not gonna fenestrate. That's okay though. It doesn't need to. And I'll find a bigger cash pot for this one now because I don't think it will fit well. I mean, I know for a fact it won't fit well in that. That is not how I like my pots to look. So that should be fine. A couple of things that I noticed when I did my Hoya ranking video / my Hoya tour. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It was actually really fun to film. It was a lot to talk about all 30 whatever of my Hoyas, but I noticed a couple of things that needed doing, two of which are some pottings. this is my Hoya Katzbergii, and it has been water popping for a little bit, and it's got roots on it now. Let's see. It's got roots on it, and I feel like it'll just do better if I pop it into some soil, so I'm gonna do that. And then this one is my Hoya parasitica, which I haven't repot in literal years, and it is going out the bottom now of this one, so it's time to give it a bit of an upgrade. So we can do just that. And for this one, for these, the Hoyas, I use anthurium and orchid soil from Soil Ninja. I find this stuff just to be like the perfect barkiness for epiphytic plants, and I feel like it'll be perfect for them. Just gonna use my little aeroid tower pots because I can pop this one into a spot in my cabinet with that, with the pot this size. This will take all of like 2 seconds to do because it's just a tiny little thing. There we go. Took 2 seconds, it always does. Claire's voice noting me. 2 seconds to do that, as per usual. And then this one might be ever so slightly more difficult just because it's been in here for so long. Literally, like I said, years I haven't touched this one. And these roots are really dry. I don't know the last time I watered this one. It's been a minute. I should probably not necessarily stay more on top of it, but like, I mean, it's doing fine. I'm not worried about it. So come on. Oh my goodness, I potted this one so long ago. That this was back when I was using like cacti and succulent soil for my Hoyas. Can you see how sandy that mix is? I was like kind of making my own blend. Oh my goodness, this was so long. I know you're supposed to like repot plants like every couple years or something. I don't do that unless they're like crying out for it. I just don't. So it's time. This is such a sandy mix. I can't believe that. Oh, little baby Hoya lover Emma didn't know what she was doing. I mean, it's been absolutely fine. It's not been an issue, but like this mix is so sandy. Okay, we can go. Is this clear one a size up? Yeah, ever so slightly sized up there. And again, I have learned now that they much prefer something chunkier rather than sandy. Which, I mean, it's been absolutely fine, so I can't really say it's been a problem, but I think it will. I think it'll like this stuff ever so slightly better. Now I just need to figure out how to get soil down into these edges. It might be ever so slightly complicated. I feel like this is where a chopstick would come in handy. I wonder if I have one in my box. Oh, my finger works. Okay, this isn't a chopstick, but it's something for doing terrariums. The only thing about this stuff is it is super chunky. So like there's massive bits of bark in it. Let me see if I can find a big piece. Yeah. Like this are like bigger. And so when you're potting small stuff, come on, focus on that. And so when you're potting smaller stuff, it like, you don't necessarily want these giant pieces of bark, so I kind of have to sort through the bag a little bit and go for the smaller pieces in there. Gosh, when was the last time I did like a repot video like this? I mean, I do these, I feel like, way more often on my Patreon, where I'm just like going through and repotting, and we can kind of like repot together if you have repotting stuff. But I very, very, very rarely do it on this channel. I feel like I always need to do like some sort of Q&A or like have a specific topic to talk about, which I feel like I shouldn't think like that, because I feel like these videos are really fun ones and good to do every once in a while. Sorry, my brain could not figure out that phrase. Welcome to my brain. I mean, I feel like this one probably could use a bigger trellis at this point as well, but getting it off this would be an absolute freaking mission, so I'm just not gonna do that. Okay, there we go. Potted up nice and bigger. I mean, it is kind of floppy. Again, I feel like it just needs to take some time to root itself into like the more material that I've given it space for. I can't really pot this one deeper though because of the trellis. Maybe when I water this one, it'll like go down a bit and I can put more soil in to support it. But this is not gonna fit in this now. Ooh, it's close, but not quite. I mean, since it's a clear pot, I probably could, but I'd rather something a little bit bigger in case I like spill the water when I'm filling it. I'd rather it spill into the pot than onto a shelf. So best to grab something bigger when I'm done. Another Hoya that I needed to deal with is my Hoya linearis. I realized that I should probably chop and prop it again. So genuinely, I am just going to go in here and boop, boop, give it a haircut, all at the same length, which is going to look a bit like crap, but maybe I'll leave this one a little bit longer. So got a nice haircut in there. And with Hoyas, I found it's easiest to propagate them in water, just to get them started, and then once they're just started, then I can put them in soil. I know you can just prop straight into soil, but I've only had success with that like once, so it makes me nervous. So I can just go in and take off like the bottom leaves of things like that. The bottom maybe 2 sets. And then once these are rooted, I'll probably need to put this in a bigger pot because it's going to need the space. And I'm just using the same little pot from the Caspergii because that the water's perfectly fine in there. It wasn't like rotting or anything. If it was rotting, it might be a different story, but it's nothing to worry about. Boop. Oh, I mean, probably shouldn't have cut that end off. But alas, I did it. That's probably just gonna have to go in the bin because, to be honest, I don't think I water my Hoyas frequently enough, especially this one because it lives in the office. I don't think I water them enough to soil propagate. I feel like you should need to like quite heavily water them for that. But these guys can just get started on rooting. I might move them to a smaller jar or a jar with a smaller neck, just to hold them in a little bit more, but this will be fine for now. But speaking of soil propagation, dun, da, 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 I have my little lipstick plant, my Asacanthus bolero bycolor, which I have been trying to propagate for freaking ages at this point, and it's been like an absolute struggle. The first ones I had, they were these ones, and I swear I had 5 or 6 different cuttings in this pot, and literally only 2 of them ended up rooting. And so when I was seeing Lottie a lot this summer, she's the one who gave me the cuttings. Ooh, this is overwatered. That's fine. She gave me some more. Maybe I should put this back. She gave me some more cuttings, and these ones have rooted really, really well. Like I said, like I just needed to keep the soil moist on them, and that's helped quite a bit. And one of them's actually even flowered. It had 2 more flowers on there, but they have since not passed away. They've just died off a little bit. But I figured I may as well join these together now that these ones are actually propagated and growing new growth. Whew. Also, you can see the difference in color between the new growth and the old growth that she had. It's kind of odd. I wonder why hers is so much darker than the growth I got. Or I get, I should say. Very odd. But genuinely, I think if I can, I'll just pop these cuttings into that, because that'll be easiest. Yeah. You can see they've got tiny little roots on them. Nothing special. But I can kind of poke myself some holes in this and just pop them in. I think that will be the easiest way to go about this, because I don't particularly fancy like unpotting this one. So I've just made a little hole in there with my little pokey tweezers that I'm using as a chopstick. And I can pop you in there and you in there too. There we go. And use some of the soil that I had from this, because it's the same soil, and fill in that gap a little bit. I'm really glad I've finally got this one figured out a little bit more. I think it genuinely just was to keep the soil moister when I watered it. I should probably do that. I think I just needed to keep the soil moister as I was rooting it in the soil, just because that's what it needed to like get going. But now that it is going, I should probably not water quite as intensely. Or maybe I should. I might just keep going as it is, and we can keep an eye on it down the line. But I'm really, really excited about this one. I'm glad it is doing well. And we can, let me see if I can find some pots to match, and I can show you all the finished results of all of these plants. All right, we have the Alocasia Stingray in here in its new cube with the water reservoir filled nicely. Continuing on with the cube theme, I was able to fit my Sapo Blue into this cube pot, a sort of cement one, and this is going to go on my bedroom shelves. I don't think this is quite the right cache pot for this one, because it is like still very tippy. The last cache pot it was in so tight, and it was glass, so it really held it well. This one, there's kind of a bit too much space around it, so I don't know if this is going to be the permanent home for my Parasitica, but for now, it will stay here. Oh, I need to wash this pot. This is the little Elho pot that the one was in before, but it can stay like that. Got my linearis here, and I did swap out the bottle to something with a smaller neck, just because I felt like it would stay better. And then my little Caspergii, which won't stay in this little thing, but it'll be in here for right now while I give it its initial water, and then I'll pop it into the IKEA cabinet. So yeah, I'm really pleased with all of these. I think they look really cute. So that is it. That is the end of this repot and chat. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me while I did some fun planty little things and got some stuff done. And I feel like all of these plants are like gonna be very happy with me now that I've swapped them for better situations. So fingers crossed they adjust well. I'm sure they will. Also, I know people regularly ask if you shouldn't repot this time of year. It doesn't matter. I mean, in my home, it doesn't matter because I've got such an artificial environment with all the grow lights and the warmth and stuff. These plants are going to bounce back in like 2.5 seconds. And I mean, the repots aren't so rough that they're going to cause problems anyway. So it's not a big deal. I'm perfectly happy repotting this time of year. I don't really think it matters too much. So yeah, that is it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things that you'd like me to talk about down below in the comments, and I can hopefully make that happen for you, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to keep growing. Bye!